Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I am so glad that you are here to have me guide you through a color mending session. I'm guessing that if you are watching this video, you read this guide. If you haven't read this guide, no worries, there's a link to it in the description. Reading this guide is going to help you understand the science behind color mending, why learning your language of emotions is the best thing that you can do when teaching yourself emotional regulation skills, and why emotional regulation skills are so important. As we walk through the session together, I'm going to hold your hand every step of the way. I'm not going to explain everything all at once. I'm going to explain things to you as we get to each of the steps of color mending. Sometimes that makes people a little anxious, but I promise you have nothing to be anxious about. The best thing about color mending is that you're only going to color what you're ready to look at and what you feel comfortable with in the current environment that you're in. Throughout the video, I've also inserted cards like this that will help you know when it's time to pause the video, complete some steps, and then come back. Okay, are you ready? I'm so excited for this. At its heart, color mending is a simple two-step process. We're gonna focus on step one today, and I'll give you a preview of the second step. Step one is all about intuitive coloring. Intuitive coloring in color mending is literally taking how you feel or a sensation in your body and giving it a color and a shape on a piece of paper. There's really no wrong or right way to color. Here's some of the colorings that I've done over the past month, and you can see how while I may have used similar colors, no two coloring looks the same. I'm showing these to you not to influence what you color, but just to show that one, there's no rules, it's literally whatever you want to color, and two, these aren't going to hang up in a museum and you don't have to show them to anyone. So, really, color the first thing that comes to your mind. Before we dive into the first step of intuitive coloring, we need to gather some supplies. The first supply you're going to need is some paper. If you don't have standard computer paper, do not worry. You literally can use whatever paper you have on hand, whether that's sticky notes, a notepad, or a spiral notebook. The size of the paper doesn't matter, and if you don't have any paper, you can actually use the Notes app on your phone to complete the coloring session too. Now that we have your paper, we need some coloring utensils. My favorite coloring utensils are crayons or markers because it makes it so much easier to cover the entire page of the paper you're coloring and do it in minutes. If you use a fine tip coloring utensil like a pencil or a pen, it's going to take a lot longer to cover the entire paper. You can, however, experiment with the paper size if you only have fine tip coloring utensils available. You're also going to need something to take notes with. So go ahead and pause this video, gather your supplies, and come back when you're ready. Before we begin coloring, there's a few steps that if you take, it's going to make the coloring process a lot easier and feel more natural. The first is you get to decide what you want to color about. The goal for this step is to write 1 to 3 sentences about what you want to color about. I'll give you some examples. It could be a pain or a sensation in your body that is new or that's lingering and you just want to understand why the heck it's there. It could be that you feel like you're on a hamster wheel just getting the same results over and over again and want to understand why. Or it could be something that you cannot stop thinking about. You're hyperfixated on a specific event or what you said or what someone else said to you or something that you heard potentially in the news. Keep in mind when you're picking something, it can also be something that you're excited about or have lighter feelings towards. So, for example, what I want to color about today is the excitement about being here with you and introducing color mending to more people. I love this work and I get so excited when I do these little projects. So that's what I want to color about today. So really, it can either be something that feels more heavy or feels light. It's up to you. Take a second, pause this video, and be specific about what you want to color about today. Welcome back. The next step of a color mending session or intuitively coloring is to do a body scan. Now, body scans are taking a few minutes and checking in with your body, starting with your head and moving towards your feet to see which part of your body is making the most noise or the part that you feel the strongest sensation in. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to think about what you wrote down about what you want to color about today. So for me, because I want to color about the excitement of being here with you, I'm going to think about that. And I'm going to think about it so much that I start feeling some sort of sensation. And then I'm going to scan my body and see where in my body is the strongest sensation. Sometimes you'll immediately get it. Like for me, even just talking to you about, I want to color about the excitement of being here with you, my left knee is going berserk. It is making the strongest sensation. But sometimes it might be a little bit more subtle. You might need to take a few minutes to sit and check in with every part of your body. So pause this video and come back when you've identified the spot in your body that is making the most noise or that you feel the strongest sensation. And yes, you can choose multiple spots. The next step is describing the noise or the sensation that you found in your body scan. We're not labeling it with an emotion word, we're literally just describing what the sensation feels like. So, for example, in my left knee, I wrote down pinching, numb, and just strong, loud, and intense. So, what are some descriptor words that you would use to describe your sensation? You'll want to write down a few words to describe that noise. You can use this word bank and come back when you're ready to go to the next step. Okay, this is the last step before we start coloring, so I promise it's going to get really fun really fast. I want you to think about that sensation again and the words that you use to describe it. We want to categorize this sensation as either heavy or light. Heavy meaning down, upset, or something about it feels off, and light meaning expansive, bright, or airy. The reason why we categorize the emotion as either heavy or light is because when it comes to interpreting your coloring with the color and shapes charts in this guide, it helps you know what columns and what information to look at. Okay, I don't think you need a pause for the heavier light, so I'm just going to go straight into setting you up to color. Let's start off with the goal of coloring. The goal is to take the sensation that you found and described on your paper and color it out onto a piece of paper using any shape and color that you want. Again, there's no rules, no wrong or right way to color. You really just want to follow your intuition. That's why they call it intuitive coloring. So some people like to sit with the emotion and then visualize it outside of them, then color it out. Or some people like myself, this is my preferred method, is I look at all the crayons and I think, what color do I want to start with? And every time a thought comes to mind. What I'm going to start with is this golden yellow color. Once I select the color, I just start doodling and coloring on the piece of paper until it feels complete. I'll switch colors, I'll do different shapes until it feels like I colored everything out. When it feels like you've colored everything out, that's when you know the coloring is complete and you're ready for the next step. Go ahead and pause this video, color out the sensation that we've been talking about using any shape and color that you want, and come back when it feels complete. Welcome back. How was that? Every time that I color, I feel so much better because I'm really sitting with the emotion. I used to be the biggest suppressor and disassociator there ever was. Coloring really has taught me that I can sit with emotions and it gives me a place to put them instead of putting them on someone else, suppressing them, trying to forget them, disassociating from them, or just not productively moving through the emotion. Once you finish your coloring, you've completed the first step of color mending, the intuitive coloring step. Keep in mind that intuitive coloring is a practice that you can have just to get you comfortable feeling emotions and sensations in your body, which is a huge step for building emotional regulation. You don't have to do step number 2 or interpret your coloring every time that you sit down to color. Here's a great example. I worked with a group of 3rd grade students in Minnesota for 3 months. They literally just colored once a week. And every once in a while, if they had time, the teacher would invite students who were interested to come up and they would look at the color and the shapes charts and interpret one of their shapes and colors. But really just the act of feeling the emotion, getting the emotion out onto a piece of paper, then doing that one time a week for 10 minutes for 3 months radically changed their classroom environment. It helped students become more aware of how they were feeling, become better advocates for themselves, and communicate their needs more clearly. So don't sleep on intuitive coloring, is what I'm trying to tell you. The second step in a color mending session is to take the color and the shapes charts in the step-by-step guide to figure out what the colors and the shapes represent in your coloring. These charts are charts that I've compiled over the past 7 years after coloring with over 300 people. My neurospicy brain started noticing patterns when I was coloring with people, and I put everything down in these charts. Now, colors represent emotions and shapes represent what the emotion is about. The charts aren't strict rules about if you colored yellow, it has to mean this. It's more of, hey, if you colored yellow, here's some options. Which one resonates the best with you? You're able to take all these pieces of information from the charts and start making sense of what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. It gives you the language to be able to articulate to yourself or to other people what is happening in your internal world. This is why therapists and counselors absolutely love this tool, is because intuitive coloring helps you feel the emotion, sit in the emotion, and get it out of your body. And then the charts help you make sense of what's happening internally so you can take that information and get straight to the strategies when you're meeting with them. I'll give you an example of my coloring. I created a T-chart with all of the colors and shapes in my coloring, then used the color and shapes charts to understand what each shape and color represented. The main theme of this coloring, I wrote it on the back, is focusing on being your own cheerleader, especially when you're going against the norms and expectations people have placed on you. So this was just a really beautiful reminder that I'm in the messy middle of deconstructing a bunch of different things, but that I can be my own cheerleader as I'm building this new life and these new paths for myself. There's two things that you can do to interpret your own coloring. The first is you can sign up for a program called the Coloring Bet. The Coloring Bet is a set of challenges over 21 days that you can complete to teach yourself how to go through a color mending therapy session. It includes one-on-one time with me, and if you complete every single challenge, I will give you your money back. I am not joking. That is how much I freaking love this tool and want to be able to give it to everyone. Physical kits are available for everyone in the United States. If you live outside of the United States, I also have digital kits. Digital kits are also available for people in the US, but hey, hear me out. Everyone who has gone through this program and gotten a physical kit has successfully completed every single challenge. People who get the digital kits, there's like a 20% completion rate. Use that information how you want. So the coloring bet is the first thing you do. The second thing you can do, we'll see how long I actually do this for, but you can take a picture of your coloring and send over the information about what you wanted to color about, where you felt the emotion, how you described the emotion, and if you categorized it as heavy or light. If you send me pictures of both of those to my business number right here, I'll interpret your coloring for you on social media. Keep in mind that if you send something to me and want me to interpret it, I'm going to keep your identity anonymous. So yeah, 2 next steps. You pick your adventure and we will see you around the color mending therapy world. I'm so glad that you were here to color with me today and hope that this answered all your questions about what color mending is and how it can help you learn your language of emotions. Bye. See ya.